Call this work session of Scottsboro City Council to order. Invocation be given by Mr. Mayor and pledge be led by Ms. Butler.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for the day you've given us and all the blessings that go with it. As we pause, let us remember the tragedy that has happened recently in Florida and the blessings that you give us each day, and that we should never take anything for granted. Now, as we go through these proceedings, be over the council, give them the wisdom they need to make the decisions that are in the best interest of all. Watch over our workers each day. It's in your Son's name we do pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is not he beside present? First, we'll discuss Jackson County Cruisers Tourism Grant application. I believe that the cruise in has requested, Mr. Good, $2,000, and last year we.
$4,200. We spent $3,700. We spent $2,200.
And I think you guys did a fantastic job of drawing a crowd in there, new development for us. Have another restaurant we just approved license for last week, and you got plans to adjust for that, correct? Anybody have any questions or discussion for Mr. Good or the cruisers? Put this on the meeting for next week to be voted on. Right, thank you for everything you guys did. Discuss Retcom software program. Clint brought this to us last week. I believe he said the last time the software for the Retcom, Mr. Mayor, 19.
Gosh, it was, what, 2002?
It wasn't this
15 years ago, 16 years ago.
Yeah, so he and I have discussed this at some length, and he feels confident with this package. When we had looked at it year before last, we put it off. It was, I believe we calculated a 5-year cost of approximately $80,000. This 5-year cost is about half of that number. I think we projected to cost around $40,000 for the administration of the software package over a 5-year period. And I think it improves the efficiency of their organization, makes it more accessible to the public. Anybody have anything to add, or thoughts or questions? We'll set this for next week. Next is discuss city employee incentive or retirement incentive. We've discussed this a couple of times. It was on the agenda for last week, but there was some miscommunication, I felt like, on what we were looking at. We originally were looking at employees that became eligible in the year 2018. It was suggested that the council consider this every 2 years. While I don't believe, and I believe we have some of the best municipal employees in the state, if not in the country, I think we should be incentivizing our employees to stay. Year before last, we added a tier to the compensation level. That increases not only their present pay, but it increases their retirement system. Mr. Smith brought up the fact that usually when you do a retirement incentive, you're looking to reduce workforce, and I don't think that's our situation. But I do want to make sure that, that people's dedication and service is rewarded. As we discussed, I'm hesitant to commit a future council because, quite frankly, if a former council had committed me and we were not in the financial situation to consider it, I would be resentful of that. What I've pulled numbers on is actually extending the window to run through the end of fiscal year 2019. And Whitney's got those, she can pass it out to you. That pulls, here, and I believe you said an additional 12 people into this round that would become eligible for retirement during that window.
Yes, sir.
I think it's something that we're talking with Mr. Wheeler, that we are in financial situation to be able to consider it this time. Is that accurate, Mr. Wheeler?
Yes.
Mr. Smith, you're on that committee. I spoke with Patrick on the way here. Do you have anything to add to our discussion thus far?
The only issue I had was the 2-year. And as you remember, I talked about one part of it, Patrick talked about the 2-year part of it. And I know we're doing well with sales tax and things now, but every year more and more people are shopping on the internet. We don't get a penny out of that, and somewhere along the way, our funds are going to start going backward because of that no tax through the internet sale. So that's the reason I don't think it's right to put it on every 2 years, because it was said that, well, all they have to do is take it off. Well, but then by doing so, they make all the employees in the city mad at them. And the same is true, all they have to do is put it on if the money's there. So that's why I didn't care about, I didn't want to do the 2 years, but the other part I'm good to go with.
And I think the conversation, and Aaron, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the conversation was to consider it every other year during budget time. And I don't think that that's a bad idea, but I would be hesitant to commit, again, a future council to the practice. Do you have anything?
We should go ahead and proceed with this, but
Does anybody have issue with extending the window through the end of next fiscal year?
Only issue, and I don't really have an issue with it, but what about the guy that is going to make it the next month after that?
Well, and there's got to be a cutoff. There's got to be a cutoff at some point. I did ask to look at end of fiscal year 2019 and look at end of calendar year 2019. We did not have anybody that fell into that window. I wanted to make sure that we didn't leave somebody just outside the window. And as I say, you've got to choose a cutoff at some point. So we felt end of fiscal year gives a quarter that we didn't leave anybody out. But you have to have a closed end, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, but I think you have to have a closed end to the cycle.
I'll add, and I respect council's wishes, and I understand about including the next fiscal year, but and it's something that should be looked at periodically, but I think if you extend it to the fiscal year 19, then if I'm the guy sitting out there that could retire in 2020, I'm upset. So I think personally, you should go back and just consider whatever falls in this calendar year as we originally discussed, which is like 31 employees, and then let the next group look at it at next go round. That's just a personal opinion.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that. The issue that I had was
I understand.
making it a regular, secular process, right? I felt like that was a compromise between those
Sure.
two things, because this council is responsible for next fiscal year.
Absolutely.
I mean, the next fiscal year will be set by this council, so I feel like that is within our authority.
So you want to do your resolutions.
Well, I mean, here again, I'm not willing to commit another council. This council will be responsible for next fiscal year's budget, so we can consider that, or we can do it just 2018. I really don't have it's not a deal breaker for me either way.
If you do it every 2 years, what would be if you're trying to give an incentive to retire and bring on younger and less expensive people, which is kind of a mistake because you're paying a lot of money to train all these people to start with. But why would you retire? Because you get to that point, you say, well, I think I'll wait 2 more years. And then when you get to that point, you say, well, 2 more years is another add-on to my retirement. And this could go on for 20 years. Right. So you got ready to finally end up leaving. So I think it turned out to be more than what it started out to be.
I do have one question. Maybe somebody can answer, maybe Rick can answer this, but what were some of the amounts that have been paid in the past, for instance? For curiosity's sake.
If he has it, I know the last amount was a $25,000 incentive. I don't know about previous years.
I guess how many people are involved in that would be
At one time it was insurance to pay.
Or a $300 per month insurance credit, but our insurance, or going towards your insurance. But I don't know that, it would be different today because our insurance premiums have gone up.
Well, again, and I don't think every person eligible would take it, which, quite frankly, if every person eligible took it, we would be in a bad situation. I mean, there goes the bulk of your knowledge base and experience. You know.
May I ask the police chief, how many people in your department are eligible?
Counted, the last time I counted was 10 to 12, somewhere around there.
And most all of those are higher ranking.
Yes.
13. I imagine every other department has quite a few as well. What was the total number?
They don't have that counted.
31 for 2018, it jumps up to
43.
43 if you include 19.
A lot of people would leave.
A lot of training.
Sometimes things happen and people just get fed up, and a lot of people get fed up and leave, you know? I'm leaving, but I'm not fed up.
here
You need to
again,
make a decision.
I think you can look at it from 100 different angles, but I think the people that, are on this list deserve us to zero in on a solution and make a decision one way or another. And we keep kind of bouncing around, we need to nail down what we are and are not gonna do and take a vote. So, you've heard the mayor's input on extending the window. I'm really indifferent on that. I'm just putting the numbers in front of you. It does pull in additional folks and qualifies them. Again, I don't want all those folks to leave. I think that the numbers on paper that you show that you save, I think you lose some in productivity. I think you lose some in knowledge and quite frankly, wisdom. You can take a senior level person and replace them with two entry level people, but you still have to train that personnel. You have to put them in situations where they can gain workplace experience. I think the curve of them bringing those two people up to the production level at one is somewhat challenging. As I said before, I want people to stay. We talk about workforce development constantly, and I just don't know that if everybody starts taking these incentives, then we're going to have the quality people to replace them with.
May I ask the mayor, I may have misunderstood what he said, but I thought you said add more people to it. I understood when you say not do the two, get the one, not
Just
include.
this year, 2018.
If that's the will of the council, that's the will.
I mean, that's just my personal opinion.
I mean, I can put both of them on there and somebody can make a motion, but,
Can you, if I may, can you at least discuss like a deadline, whatever you decide for next week? Discuss something for human resources and payroll, finance department to work with, like a deadline for the employee to sign up, so that we can work towards that. Yes, sir.
If you do that, I think I was informed by Mr. Denver that you can't really make them do that.
You can't give a notice that you intend to do it, but you can change your mind.
So in essence, it doesn't really mean.
It's not binding.
It's not
Yeah.
like
But at least you can.
Right, it's not binding,
but
but
it gives them
they're gonna
plan.
give up that benefit of the incentive or service reward, whatever you're calling it. They'll just have to wait until the next time it comes around.
You've been winning.
Right,
But they're gonna have to do that in?
Sure.
Everybody.
exactly.
That's what.
But just having like a time period for anyone that wants to retire, it gives our department heads, it gives human resources a chance to plan, a chance to advertise jobs. This is something we're gonna have to fill, if that makes sense. So if you give them 60 to 90 days, at least we know what we're looking at if people sign up. If they don't take it, fine. They don't have to. They can stay. They're not gonna get the service reward or whatever you're proposing, but it would give our departments a chance to plan.
We would have to do that anyway. To give them that a time period, because we can't expect them all to come in here next
Yes,
Tuesday and
sir.
sign up.
I'm just saying it hadn't been discussed, and I would like for y'all to discuss that for the council meeting so that everyone, so it's out on the table and we all know what we're doing, where we're going. if that makes sense.
As soon as we figure that out.
Yes, sir.
Well, and I guess that's another reason that I considered making it a longer window so we could plan ahead.
Sure.
And be looking, at personnel, potential personnel that can fill those positions. I think making it such a short window now, here again, somebody leaves, and I've got to replace them quick. If we extend the window, it lets us plan a little bit. But again, I'm not, just a suggestion on my part. But one or the other. We'll make that determination this week.
Can we not, like you said, can we not come up with a couple of options? Let council make a motion?
I'm certainly willing to do that.
And vote on, have any motion?
I don't, like I said,
Get it over with.
I'm not locked into either strategy. I'd leave that to the will of the council. Anything? Aaron, anything?
Yes, sir. I'm
Mr.
good.
Wheeler, anything to add to our discussion? Next week. Okay. Next is, announce, zoning board, vacancy.
It's been brought to our attention that there is a vacant position on the zoning adjustment board for an alternate member. This is a 3-year term. Anyone interested should apply and write to the city clerk's office by March 9th, 2018.
Thank you, Ms. Bill. You said March 9th. Delegations, there are none. Reports, Mr. Mayor.
Just one thing, talking about boards and commissions, Jim Flowers had rolled off the planning commission. He had no desire to be reappointed, so I have appointed Mark Price in his place. He's a local resident, mechanical engineer, lives here in town, works in Huntsville, his wife, teacher at Brownwood, and so he'll be filling Jim's place on the planning commission.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ms. Butler? Here. Mr. Smith? Thank everybody for coming. Some of you probably know that we laid Miss Peggy Word Holland McClendon to rest Saturday. And Reed, I appreciate you being there. All the work that you put in. Nothing else, we'll stand adjourned until next week.